Happy Tuesday and good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. As you can see, all the snow has melted. It is 45 degrees in the Nashville area today. Very different than the 15 degrees we had last week and the snow, and I'm so happy that it's warmed up again. So welcome, so glad to have you here this morning. Good morning, you made it, yay! I'm running behind today. I actually fell asleep last night in the middle of a discussion with my husband. I was so tired and I fell asleep, and then this morning when he woke up I wanted to finish that discussion, and the discussion ended up taking an hour. So it is just what it is. So yay, I'm so glad to have you all here. So we are going to talk, I'm going to share really honestly some thoughts that I've been thinking of, especially the past few days, and I just wanted to share it with you and hope that it would be an encouragement to some of you. So we're reading the book Rest Assured, and it's called A Recovery Plan for Weary Souls. And Latoya says she can't hear me. Hopefully everyone else can. Maybe audio is gone. Is audio gone for everyone else? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. I can't really tell the people who can hear me to go back out and come back in, and hopefully they'll be able to hear me. So that maybe somebody can comment and say that so they can hear that. Anyway, so those of you who know, we're having a year of rest this year, and the last few years of my life have been extremely busy and extremely full and extremely stretching and extremely exhausting. And I don't regret those years. I feel like it's what God called me to, but I'm so sorry those of you are having problems with the audio. And you can't hear me telling you this, so oh well, I guess we'll just let it be. This was my year of rest. We decided at the end of 2015 that we were just going to really cut back on a bunch of different things and make this a year of rest and a year to just really refresh and renew and rejuvenate and focus inward on our family and say no to a lot of the outward things. Well, that has been a new journey and a new adventure, and it has been really good. But to just be completely honest, it's been really hard for me. Really hard, which that kind of sounds weird that it would be hard to have a year of rest. But here's the truth. I have an addiction, and that's what I've learned. I have an addiction to busyness. I have become addicted to activity. And this addiction, I'm struggling with, like, letting go of the busyness, letting go of the activity. So last week it snowed, and Friday I was supposed to go and speak, and we had quite a few things going on Friday, and that all got canceled because of the snow. And I was at home, and we had finished our homeschooling, and I was sitting on the couch, and there were there were things to do, but I had this like 3 or 4 hour block in the afternoon where nothing was planned, and I sat there and I felt like something was wrong. Like I needed to fill that space up, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get all my blog posts done for next week, and let's start this project, and then I realized, what am I doing? I have this free afternoon that I can just rest. This is my year of rest. I don't have to fill up those holes with more stuff, with more to-dos, with more busyness. But it was hard for me. It felt like something was wrong, like I wasn't doing enough. And I realized something, that it was like I am really, someone has I've never been addicted to drugs or alcohol or something like that, but I've heard about people when they go off of that and when they quit, that you're feeling jittery and you want that, and you're so desperately needing to fill up that addiction and to feed that addiction, and you have that withdrawal, and I felt like that's what I was having. I almost felt just jittery and anxious over the fact that my schedule was so clear and so just empty, like something was wrong. You're addicted to pizza and donuts, Keely. Well, I might have an addiction to chocolate. Yeah, probably that too. But so I was thinking, like, I'm not doing enough. I should be doing more. And I was asking myself, I started asking myself these questions, and I just wanted to share this with you because I thought these might be good questions for you to ask. Maybe you don't have an addiction to busyness, but maybe there's something else that you are addicted to, that you're filling a hole in your life with something that's unhealthy. Is my worth coming from what I do? Is my worth coming from what I do? Is my value tied up in how much I get done? Do I feel more fulfilled when I have more on my calendar? Does that make me feel like I'm more valuable? I'm more special. I'm more worthy because there's more on my calendar. Like, I'm somebody. It strokes my ego because I've got a lot going on. So in this book, I know that this is not book club, but I wanted to share this section of this book because I thought it just went along so well with what I'm sharing. And this just really, really impacted me. It's a section where she talks about her grandson. And she says, he said, Mimi, I get out and smell the founders. And she said, I was pushing my 2-year-old grandson in his stroller while taking a walk one afternoon when he spotted a patch of yellow wildflowers. Actually, they were weeds, but I wasn't about to dampen his enthusiasm and wide-eyed wonder. I stopped the stroller and lifted him out so he could engage in his ritual of picking flowers for every relative on the family tree. One at a time, he picked each flower, smelled it, announced the fortunate recipient, and toddled back to the stroller to lay it gently in the basket underneath. Back and forth he went with no sense of time. As I watched him, I wondered how many moments like this I had missed with my own children simply because I was in a hurry. Too often I had expected them to match my pace rather than slowing down to accommodate theirs. She says, it's one of my greatest regrets. If I could have a do-over, I would commit to less so I could slow down and enjoy more. More and more moments rocking my babies. More moments spent standing over their cribs or beds and watching them sleep. More time to answer their bazillion curious questions. More little baby steps from the car to the house. More focused attention on what they were saying without finishing their sentences. I've yet to meet empty nesters who regret not being busier in those years or wish they had sped through those years a bit faster. Not one. In his book, The Life You've Always Wanted, John Ortberg says, hurry is not just a disordered schedule. Hurry is a disordered heart. Hurry is not a disordered schedule. Hurry is a disordered heart. And I realized that I have had a disordered heart. I've been chasing after more. It was good stuff. It was helping more people and making more impact and producing more products and writing more blog posts and speaking at more events. And more is not always better. So in the process of chasing after that more good stuff, I became addicted to that chase, to that busyness, to my calendar being full, to feeling like I'm doing a lot of good stuff. But that's not where my worth lies. And so I just really wanted to challenge you all with this and share with you. Someone said the hustle. And I actually more and more, I just hate that word. And I'm not to rag on anyone else, but I just think, like, is that really what we want our life to be about? Hustling? Is that really what I want to look back on the end of my life and say, I was a good hustler? Like, I mean, really, is that what we want to say? Is that what we want to have on our tombstone? No. And so I just share this with you from my heart, and I hope that it maybe encourages you, maybe it inspires you, maybe it makes you think. I don't want to be filling up that emptiness in my life with some sort of something that could be destructive and unhealthy. And I was thinking how we kind of elevate certain addictions as worse than others. And this really bothers me, because why is it like it's socially acceptable to be addicted to certain things, or we wouldn't even call it an addiction, and yet it's so bad to be addicted to other things, when really all addictions come from the same thing. We're trying to fill up that hole in our heart that only God can fill. We're trying to fill it up with something else that could be very, very destructive and unhealthy. And you're right, it's idolatry. It's idolatry. All addictions can be or are unhealthy and destructive. It doesn't matter what you're addicted to. And so I am just challenging myself with this and saying, does my calendar dictate my worth? And if so, something's really out of whack, something's really disordered, something's really unhealthy. And I want to spend more time resting in those quiet places, embracing that empty space in my schedule, not running from it and trying to just fill it up, but embracing it and letting my soul breathe. And so that is, once I kind of got through all the jittery stuff and being all anxious, then on Friday afternoon, my husband and I literally set aside everything that I'd written on that list of what I felt like, well, I should do. I should use this time wisely. Instead said, what's the wisest thing? I just need to hang out with my family. I need to hang out with my husband. And so we did some fun stuff as a family, and then my husband and I, we went and we watched a couple of episodes of a show on a Friday afternoon, and it was so relaxing. It was so fun, and he was just like, this is the best. And I thought, this is so much more important, spending this quality time with my husband, than checking all those things off of my list that didn't even need to be done. This is where it's at. And so I wanted to share that with you and just be honest with you. And I don't have it all figured out. I think it's going to be a hard year for me, honestly. I told somebody yesterday, I'm like, this year of rest thing, I'm so glad that I've committed to it, but it's going to be hard because I feel like it's all that stuff that kind of, with all the busyness, was shoved down, and I didn't realize the unhealthy places that I was in and the unhealthy things that I was chasing after, and just that the health of my heart was disordered. It's bringing all that up to the surface, and I'm having to deal with it and face it and confront it and process it, and it's good, but it's hard. And I'm very curious to just kind of see where this year takes me. But I just really want to make sure that I'm in the center of God's will, and that I am really seeking after Him, and that He is filling up the emptiness and the empty spaces, and that He is filling me and He is making me whole, and I'm not seeking wholeness in things that will never completely satisfy. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. If you struggle with this, there were a couple of books that came to my mind that have, obviously this Rest Assured book that we're going to talk about in just a minute when we do our book club scope. This is by Vicki Courtney. Another one that has been really helpful to me is the book Margin. If you haven't read that book, so many good things in that book. And I'm going to be reading more books on this topic this year because I need it. I need it a lot. So anyway, I'm going to hop off and do our book club scope. And this afternoon, I'm going to do a Money Making Mom scope. It was requested. Somebody asked, how do you come up with blog topics? how do you come up with what to write on, and how do you not run out of blogging ideas. So if you are a writer, you're a blogger, and you would be interested to know what inspires me and how I come up with blogging ideas, at 2:30 Central Time, I'm going to do a Money Making Mom Scope on that. We are actually going and having a fun family afternoon at this Ninja Warrior place because my daughter is turning 11 this week, and so I'm going to do that. So that's why we are going to have our Money Making Mom Scope at 2:30 Central Time. So I hope you can join us then, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.